Hey everyone, and welcome back to my late life lesbian journey. On my channel, I discuss and share my journey and process and just experiences of going from being married to a man, getting divorced, and coming out as a lesbian. If you'd like to follow my journey, please subscribe. And for those of you who have, thank you and welcome back. So I thought I would talk in this video about some differences between straight dating and like gay or lesbian dating. Because just when I got back out into the dating field, I just sort of kind of noticed some differences. And I thought I would just kind of discuss and share because I know a lot of you who do watch and follow my journey are kind of in similar situations where you've been with men and then now you're kind of entering into like the lesbian dating community. So I don't know, maybe you've kind of experienced some similar things, or it might just be interesting to hear about what I've experienced. So anyways, some of the differences. One is I don't really feel like there's any standard etiquette. I feel like, with straight dating, like if I were to be dating a guy, there's typically kind of like the etiquette of, waiting for the guy to ask and the guy picking up the check and paying the bill. And I know we're getting into like today's age and everything that sometimes things are more equal in that regard anyway, but I do still feel like often, or at least when I was dating men back when I was 18, however many years ago, this was just more of the etiquette and sort of like kind of what you waited on. Like, oh, you wanted the guy to ask you, and oh, you went out and you sort of just, it was almost the assumption that if the guy asked you on the date and everything, like he would often pay. And so with two women, there isn't always any type of etiquette of, oh, which one asks? Well, really, whoever wants to ask and whoever asks first. And even when you're out, it's like, well, okay, well, who pays the check? Well, either one of you, I guess. Or sometimes I've been in situations where you're like arguing over who pays the check. And, or sometimes I've been in situations where you just end up splitting it. And so, yeah, I guess with that, it's just, there's not really an etiquette, even along the lines of like bringing flowers, opening doors, like holding a car door, things like that. It's, again, sometimes those are more typically like the man roles in a relationship, but with women in dating, like I've bought and shown up with flowers and I will walk around and open the car door for, my date or something. And so it's different, but also kind of nice because you can kind of take on and be whatever sort of role you want. But at the same time, almost at times confusing because it's like, well, how do I act? How do I treat this like a date and not just being out with a friend? But yeah, it was just kind of an interesting thing to navigate and figure out. And then something else I will share, which was just very interesting to me when I started dating women, is for whatever reason, this just hit me as like the most interesting yet sort of different thing is that I'm on a date, but so typically when you're on a date and you're like, oh, I'm gonna like run to the bathroom real quick, you go by yourself, or like if they're going with you, you guys go to separate bathrooms. And when you're, straight dating, it's a guy and a girl. But like with two women, it's like you both go to the bathroom together and you're in the same bathroom. And I just remember this happening and being like, oh, well, this is weird. Like my date's just in the stall right next to me and like we're both going to the bathroom. And so, I don't know, it's just sort of this like weird thing to me that I was like, okay, well, yeah, this is different and interesting because again, if I'm out with like just a friend and it's like two girls just as friends, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and like, oh, I'll come with you. And like you talk, but again, when it's a date, it's almost just like, okay, well, this is interesting. Like you're in here with me. So, yeah, just something kind of silly that just for whatever reason always struck me as different and funny and when I started dating women. So anyways, that's kind of all I have with it, I guess. I haven't really noticed a lot of major differences. Oh, well, I guess another one could potentially be like inviting somebody over, or asking for a second date. Sometimes, again, those can be like sort of like the straight role, like, oh, like waiting for, the guy to ask you out again or something. But, it's kind of like, either girl could ask for a second date or follow up or make the first move or things like that. And it's not really like any standard or societally placed norm or anything. It's just kind of like you can treat and handle it, I guess, however you want, which I do really appreciate, because I do feel like sometimes, like, again, with, you know, potentially trying to get rid of such like stereotypical gender norms, I feel like even in straight dating, you know, some of these things should apply. And maybe they do now. Like I said, I haven't been in the dating field since like I was 18 until, you know, recently. So maybe it is a little bit different, but just again, things that I noticed that were different for me is that there's not really any particular standard. So you can kind of like do whatever you want with it. You want a second date? Ask. You know, want a treat and pick up the check because it makes you feel good? Do it, you know? So yeah, it's just kind of an interesting experience. If you want, leave your comments below and kind of let me know like your experiences. What have you gone through? What do you find interesting or different? Or you can always reach out to me on Instagram at ecbettis, and you know, I'm happy to connect with you there. And again, if you'd like to follow my journey, please subscribe. And thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.